So apparently there might be some girl out here that already has the Epstein list because some official in the DOJ who's deep in there already gave her, because why? She's pretty and he just wanted to impress her. I mean, man, ain't that something? But all right, let's go to the next video.
Really military.
So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and watch the extended cut of CNN's interview with Hamas official. Let's get right into it.
Targeted you. 2 weeks ago, the Israeli military targeted you and other senior Hamas leaders right here in the Qatari capital. How did you and the other senior officials survive that attack?
I think it is a miracle because the rockets are very close to us. We are under target, and it was all the rockets were directed to the place, but we are not in the place which was targeted. Alhamdulillah.
It struck a different room, is what you're saying?
We are in a different place, yes. Maybe they have misinformation about the situation. The target is so heavy. They launched more than 12 rockets against the office of Dr. Khalil, and they destroyed completely. They killed 5 people there. It was a brutal attack on us. So I think it was long and very strong.
Yeah, there was an Israeli strike in Doha that tried to kill Hamas leadership, which pretty much killed all negotiation. And now Qatar, I mean, they don't even want to be the middleman no more because they're getting bombed for it. And now, for some reason, people are trying to create excuses for bombing Qatar, which, let's be real, they're not our enemy. So for us to allow Israel to even help them, Britain, UK, to even help them to bomb Qatar was completely in the wrong. Like, we shouldn't have done that. And we should allow negotiations to happen. I mean, let's be real. It's like, I understand maybe if he'd went to Iran or he'd returned back to Gaza and bombing him, cool, get him out the way then. But we shouldn't be attacking our allies to do so.
Message to us and even to Qatar that we are not interested in negotiation. We want to kill, we want to destroy, we want to assassinate. This is our own policy to handle the whole situation.
Do you feel safe in Doha?
No one can be safe. Israel, I think that is a country of terrorism, a country of a state of horrific action, genocide. They want to kill and to kill and to kill to prove that they are the super power in the Middle East. So no one can give guarantees that Israel could not do it again here in Qatar or do it in other places.
When you were targeted, at that moment, you and other senior Hamas leaders were reviewing the latest ceasefire proposal from the United States. 2 weeks later, where do ceasefire negotiations stand now?
Everything now is frozen. Frozen because that Israel is not interested in negotiation. They are not interested now to have good contact even with Egypt or with Qatar or to achieve a peaceful agreement for the ceasefire in Gaza Strip.
So how do you view the United States' role and specifically President Trump's role going forward in these negotiations, in the process of ending the war?
And we support the United States to be honest and a neutral mediator. The Americans, they lost their credibility. All the time they support Israel on the account of the Palestinian people, and they never fulfill their promises. This is the problem of the Americans. They could not prove that they are honest and neutral mediator.
This latest American proposal calls for you to release all the hostages, living and dead, in exchange for thousands of Palestinian prisoners, an immediate ceasefire, and the start of negotiations to end the war. Why not take that deal?
Look, I think we have to now to reach a comprehensive deal. We want to finish the war.
I know, but I'm asking you about the specific American proposal, if you could answer.
We first of all, we insisted to go to the comprehensive deal, to retain all the hostages, either alive or dead. And we said frankly, we can return them in 24 hours. But Israel, they refused. You know, the main...
Well, they have conditions for ending the war. Their conditions are Israel's conditions for ending the war. They want Hamas to be out of power, and they want Hamas to disarm. Are you willing to abandon power in Gaza and lay down your weapons?
Look, first for the power in Gaza, the authority in Gaza, we have an agreement with all Palestinian factions and even with the Egyptians. And I think that the Egyptians, they play a good role and send this proposal to different countries and even approved by the Arabic League that, okay, we can have a technocrat, we have kind of neutral and professional committee for ruling Gaza. Okay, we finish it. Regarding the disarm of the disarm of Hamas, I think this is, we have to understand very well that the arm of Hamas is a legitimate and legal weapons which used all the time against the occupation. It is not a terrorist weapon.
But are you willing to disarm if it is in the context of a process towards building a Palestinian state?
Terrorist reasons.
If there is a Palestinian state, we'll be part. We will be engaged. We will be.
The entire
integrated.
world, with all due respect, sir, the entire world is saying they want no role for Hamas in post-war governance of Gaza.
Look,
Agreed.
Do you disagree with that?
We agree. Yeah, no, we agree for and you're committed to rule Gaza. We have no problem.
Right. So, and as
But
part of
I
that,
think-
Hamas will play no part,
I think-
according to
but
the
let-
Arab
let-
League, according to President
Okay,
Abbas,
let
according
me-
to the United
okay,
States, according to France.
Let me also to explain that this is a Palestinian issue. That some external powers, they want to impose something against our interest. Hamas is part of the Palestinian fabric. You could not exclude Hamas. But as I said again and again, regarding the ruling of Gaza, we are ready to be out of the
Well,
ruling.
he isn't really talking about like getting rid of Hamas. He's talking about demilitarizing Hamas, taking weapons away from Hamas, like making it very, very hard for them to pretty much do this again. That's what he's asking for. We do understand that, like, the Hamas soldiers are pretty much woven in the fabric of Palestinian society. We understand that we can't get rid of them, but we do understand that we can get rid of their weapons.
Of Gaza, we have no problem with this.
Hamas recently announced that Israeli hostages have been spread out throughout Gaza City ahead of and amid now this planned Israeli invasion of Gaza City. Is your intention to use those Israeli hostages as human shields?
No, we never use these people as shields. No, we never use them. All the time, we explain that we as Hamas, we use these people or we deal with people according to the Islamic principles and according to the Islamic values.
But it was quite clear in the statement from the Al-Qassam Brigades,
I
which
think
is...
this is a false accusation against us.
This is a statement from the Al-Qassam Brigades, Hamas's military wing. They said that in order to deter this Israeli military invasion, they are placing Israeli hostages strategically.
The hostages are spread everywhere.
But they are placing them around Gaza City and saying that if they die, it will be on Netanyahu's hands, correct?
There is a big dilemma in this. Israel now is going and now is doing to destroy Gaza, to destroy everywhere, to kill people everywhere. Yeah, you know, in Gaza now, they're killing this morning, more than 84 people. Yesterday, about 109 people were killed. In the last months, more than 3,000.
I understand. And when I speak with, with all due respect,
how can you stop this?
With all due respect, when I speak with Israeli officials, I press them on all of these questions. I'm speaking with you right now, and I'm asking about Hamas's role. And Hamas just announced that it is holding these Israeli hostages in strategic locations around Gaza City, moving them above ground, while Israel is carrying out an invasion. Is the intention to use these hostages as a human shield?
Israel should stop targeting civilian, should stop targeting or to collapse the towers or to destroy the towers everywhere. Now you know they sent some technology to destroy all homes in Gaza, all towers in Gaza. What do you want to do after that?
I mean, which is actually true. They did destroy 70% of Gaza, and let's be honest. I mean, if you're talking about you care about this, the hostages, maybe leveling 70% of Gaza might not have been the move right there. Like, that is actually a pretty good point. It's shame on them for taking them, but even there is protests in Israel shaming the reckless bombing of Gaza because they're like, yo, we don't know if they're walking around with our family member and you're just recklessly bombing them instead of trying to negotiate for the hostages. And that has been a that's been a fair criticism of what's been going on inside the Israeli government.
What Israel is doing now, as I said, they want to demolish the whole Gaza, to destroy every hospital, mosques, schools, even churches, everywhere. How can you stop this madness in Gaza? How can you stop these atrocities in Gaza?
It has been nearly 2 years now since your organization, Hamas, carried out the October 7th attack, killing nearly 1,200 people, most of them civilians. It unleashed the deadliest Israeli military response that Gaza has ever seen. More than 65,000 people have been killed in Gaza, tens of thousands more injured. Gaza has been decimated.
Okay.
Do you accept any responsibility for triggering so much death and destruction?
Look, to me, this is a big story. Now, the history did not begin on October 7th. We spent 78 years under the occupation, under the humiliation, under oppression, under repression, under killing, under displacement. Now, why a war just focus on October 7th? What before October 7th is a result for the October 7th.
I understand what you are saying, that there is history that happened before October 7th. But before October 7th,
Yeah.
Israel had never unleashed.
Well, I'm gonna be real. At least he kind of recognized that. It's like everybody likes to say that October 7th was unprovoked, which is not true. I mean, Israel definitely did enough in the last 2 years and within the months before October 7th to definitely, you know, set it off. Like, to be quite honest. So when people say October 7th was unprovoked, this is not justifying what happened at all. No, this is just saying that it definitely was provoked. It definitely was. And that's not justifying it, but that's admitting that no, there was definitely some aggression by Israel for October 7th to be done. Like, it's not like the guys just woke up and did it, just say F it. And let's be real, they've been doing this to each other for decades. Like, this has always been the case with them. So to always say that it's unprovoked would be a lie. I mean, it would be a lie to honestly say that anything that Israel did to Gaza was unprovoked. Of course, Gaza provoked them. Of course, the Palestinians provoked them, just like the Israelis provoked the Palestinians. It's a back and forth thing.
This level of death and destruction on Gaza before. How can you look at me with a straight face and tell me that you accept no responsibility whatsoever for what has happened in the 2 years since?
What is the option is left for the Palestinians to do? Yeah, and we waited for. So
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you, sir,
because the Palestinians have protests and they have tried to do peaceful protests and they were shot at and there were a lot of them that were killed, and that were one of the things that did set off October 7th. As this man, I believe what their leader that is now dead came out and said, well, what are we to do? We tried protesting. That doesn't work. So what are we to do? And that has always been the questions that the Palestinians has, asked the world. They stay asking us this question of, well, what are we to do? You just want to be in an open concentration camp and get recklessly bombed? Like, what would you do? And we don't have an answer for them. But don't do October 7th. I mean, don't do that.
With all due respect, I'm asking you whether you accept any responsibility for the death and destruction that has followed since October 7th in Gaza.
This is the first time that Palestinians have shown sacrifice in this Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Since 1948 till now, 100,000 people were killed, 100,000 Palestinians were arrested.
But what gives you the right to decide that Palestinian women and children should be sacrificed on the altar of your resistance?
No, all the time we are sacrificing. We are fighting, not Hamas, the Fatah and People Front, Democratic Front.
But I am asking you about the civilian deaths in Gaza and what gives you the right to decide it's a price worth paying. That child can die. It's okay. Because it's in order to fulfill our resistance.
As Hamas, we are fighting for the interests of the people. We don't want our people to be killed. We don't want our people to suffer more and more. I think now, look, you know what is the benefit of October 7 now? Now, when the award now, if you look to the General Assembly yesterday, when about 194 people opened their eyes and looked to the atrocity, to brutality of Israel, and all of them, they condemned Israel. We waited for this moment for 77 years in order to open their eyes to say that there is occupation, there is suffering of the Palestinian people, and we should end this occupation. I think this is a golden moment for the world to change the history. I think that now the world is a change. The history is a change now.
Sir,
you basically said that, we pretty much, honestly, it kind of sounds like he did this to put bad propaganda on Israel to highlight the atrocities that's been going on in Gaza that honestly people have been sweeping under a rug forever. Like, so we're not going to sit here and gaslight the man. Like, there hasn't been decades of atrocities going on in Gaza. But the way you carried it out, bro, there had to have been a different way to where you didn't have to commit October 7th, because the excuse of it is not good. But we are hearing what you're saying, though. But you're kind of pretty much saying that you're in a propaganda campaign to expose Israel, but at the sacrifice of your own people. Yeah, I don't know. I can't get down with that.
We're just saying that as a result of October 7th, you are seeing
and to be quite honest, when it comes to the death of the kids, I blame both sides. because Israel could be doing a better surgical strike instead of recklessly bombing buildings. I mean, homes and hospitals and all that good stuff. I mean, you can't really blame Hamas for that one. That's just Israel committing war crimes at the end of the day. But you can blame Hamas for starting off this war and not understanding how hard Israel's going to react. Like, trust me, they admit that it didn't foresee this coming. Well, yeah, I mean, what can I say? This kind of goes along with this clip right here. And it always goes to
see, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. See, as you can see,
millions of people marching in the streets. You are seeing countries recognize Palestine as a state. You are seeing legitimacy for your people. And I am asking you whether the price that Palestinian people have paid so far was worth it.
I know the price is so high, but I'm asking again, what is the option?
It's worth
what is the option left to the Palestinians? You know what? We waited for a peaceful process, for a peaceful means since 1993, since Oslo Agreement till now. But I think we got a big zero.
Let me show you the words of your people. Okay, these are people in Gaza, and I want you to hear, because your own people in Gaza say that you do have responsibility for the situation there. I'd like to show you this.
Yeah, both sides are responsible, but I mean, yeah, you are responsible, my man.
رسالتنا لحماس أنه كفى مقامرة ومغامرة بنا. كفاكم.
All right, so what he said right here, our message to Hamas is to stop gambling with us. You are disconnected from reality.
Please watch. This is not it. There's more.
I have seen this video.
Sir,
yes.
There is more.
I have seen this video.
I would like you to, there are 3 people here. I would like you to hear their voices.
I know people are suffering. There are some people blame Hamas.
Why will you not listen to the voices of Palestinian people in Gaza?
Look, yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, let's be real. Trust me, I can go out there and do the devious thing of showing you a whole bunch of people that's blaming Israel only. There's people who see Hamas as their hero in Palestine who's pretty much blaming Israel. There's people who sees as Hamas as the reason why Israel's doing this, and they only blame Hamas and all that good stuff. There's different factions on both sides. So it is kind of funny how CNN, or honestly, it's honestly predictable how they would just go listen to one side and not listen to both sides. Because yes, there's both sides here. Not just the Palestinian people just aren't all blaming Hamas, even though they kind of should. But there's also people on the side that just solely blame Israel for the reaction to October 7th, calling it collective punishment.
This is not the whole story. I know, because this is because of the Israeli crimes in the Gaza Strip.
It seems that it seems that you don't want to hear the voices of people in Gaza who disagree with Hamas or who want to see Hamas removed from power.
I want to hear the naysayers.
Why won't you listen to their voices?
All the world, listen to me. All the world said yesterday in the General Assembly that October 7 is not a justification for Israel to commit genocide, to kill civilians.
But I'm asking you to respond to what these people are saying. Look, these people who want Hamas to surrender, lay down its weapons, and leave the Gaza Strip. What do you say to them?
No one asked Hamas to surrender. We will never surrender. We will never.
Some of these people are asking Hamas to lay down their weapons.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. I told you there's 2 factions in Palestine. So for you to sit here and pretend like everybody in Palestine is asking for, oh no, everybody's asking for you guys to stop, just quit already. No, some people are honestly, there's an even amount of people, I'd like to say, even amount of people who honestly agrees with this. And I'd also like to point out, Hamas was elected in what, 06, 07. If you really think about that, that means like half of the Palestinian people, maybe even more, didn't even vote for Hamas. Didn't even vote for them. Like, if you honestly take it all the way back, we're talking about something that was like, what, 19 over 20 years ago? So what does that tell you right there? What do we say about Gaza? Half of the people there are 18 and below. So we're pretty much saying that half of the people had nothing to do with the election of Hamas, even though that is a talking point, saying, well, election have consequences. I don't know. That's not really fair to say when they were elected like pretty much damn near 20 years ago.
And there are some people, these people under abnormal.
But do remember, there are both sides in Palestine. Those who believe that, yes, it is all Hamas' fault. And there's another side that says, no, this is all Israel's fault. And Hamas is trying to save us from this open air concentration camp.
We put him under target and killing and massacre. What do you expect for people to say?
But many people would say, if you look at history, if you look at wars that have been fought, where overwhelming military force has been brought to bear, where tens of thousands of civilians have been killed, that you, as the adversary of Israel in this case, that you have a responsibility to do your part to end the suffering. And that would be to lay down your weapons.
We are working to end the suffering of people. Yani Hamas was launched in 1987. All the time you are working for our people, not in October 7. Before that, all the time we are fighting and doing for the interest of our people. Now, the reaction of the occupation and the brutality in killing and massacre, you put this responsibility in the shoulder of Hamas?
I'm not putting all the responsibility on the shoulders of Hamas. I'm asking you whether you have any responsibility in this regard.
We are responsible to save our people, to protect our people, to do anything.
Top Israeli officials say that Israelis cannot be safe unless Hamas is destroyed, right? That's their perspective. That if Hamas is allowed to continue to exist, that you will carry out October 7th style attacks again and again as long as you remain armed. Are they wrong?
We want to end the occupation.
Are they wrong?
We want to end the occupation. Who is a danger in this Israel? It's not Hamas. Hamas never, for example, acting against Egypt or Qatar or Saudi or American or British. I think we are against the occupation. That Hamas is a part of the Palestinian society, fighting for the Palestinian society, fighting for the Palestinian cause.
And so it sounds like you are saying what you said
don't put the problem on the shoulder of Hamas. No, I think
sir, when I speak with Israeli officials, I press them about what they are doing in Gaza. When I'm speaking with Hamas officials, I press them for your response.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, big dog. I ain't never seen you talk to no Israeli officials or press them. But Piers Morgan does. So, I mean, if you want to see Israeli officials get pressed on their propaganda, just like he's getting pressed on his propaganda because both sides are running it, yeah, I would go to Piers Morgan.
Responsibility. And in the weeks after October 7th, you said we will do this again and again and again. There will be a second, a third, a fourth attack. With rhetoric like that, why should Israelis accept to live alongside an organization like Hamas?
Before October 7th, do you know that there is a siege on Gaza for 17 years?
I'm very aware.
Do you know that before October 7th, that in the West Bank, they're expanding settlements and building settlements, taking our lands, putting what's called gates in every Palestinian's towns? So I think that October 7th.
I mean, yeah, and honestly, like nobody's really able to understand that argument I would say counter that argument. Well, what about the West Bank? They're doing the same thing to the Palestinians in the West Bank. They're trying to ethnically cleanse them out of there, and there's no Hamas. There's no Hamas there, but yet there's still something like there's still this action going on against it. There's I'm sorry about action, but there's this aggression going against the going on again. Wow, sorry guys, completely effed that one up. But yes, there's still aggression going on against Palestinians. That's a problem. It's like, well, y'all want to sit here and say it's Hamas, but when we point out the West Bank, y'all have no words because there's still this aggressive nature going on against Palestinians. And it's not the Palestinians acting aggressive against the Israelis, it's them coming over there trying to take their land in the West Bank. What is the excuse for that if it's all about Hamas?
It's not the justification.
That's a fair question.
To do that, to kill and to commit massacres against the Palestinians.
My final question to you. How does this war end?
I think it is easy. I think Mr. Trump and the world could ask the Netanyahu in order to stop the war, to stop the genocide in Gaza.
Do you have any confidence that he will do that?
I don't know. I think we tested them many times, but I think...
And you know what's the funny thing is? I mean, Israel even snitches on themselves about it. They'll even sit there and tell you that, yeah, there is no Hamas in the West Bank. These Israeli settlers are out of line. Like, even Israel's calling out these guys. They're out of line, and they don't even know what this is all about. But there is a radical group of Israelis who are coming over there and just taking land out of the West Bank from Palestinians. But it is what it is, I guess. And shout out to let's see, he says Sage or Psy Guy. He says new findings on the way. Islam is a false religion. I mean, I wouldn't say that, my friend. I wouldn't say that. And mainly people who say that never read the Quran. They never even dabbled in the teachings of it. They just hate the religion. And I usually think it's due to a place of fear and insecurity, seeing that you guys have this fear that Islam is going to take over. They're having more babies than Christians. And you guys completely don't believe in their ideology. So I do understand that for a reason, I guess, hate or so fear them. But all right, though, to the next video.
to postpone punishing snapback sanctions for violations in their nuclear program. Russia and China had tried to help Iran, but that effort has failed. The United Kingdom and the U.S. backed renewing these sanctions, which include banning of weapons sales and other tight sanctions that will return on Iran tomorrow. Here's more of my sit down with the country's president last evening. According to U.S. intelligence, other intelligence agencies, the IAEA was.
And, I would urge my Christian brothers not to attack Islam, but to produce more Christians, to make y'all message better, to go ahead and spread the message of Christianity like you guys have. Christianity has been blowing up. Keep that going. Don't sit there and debase yourselves to hatred. Like, come on now.
That there was enrichment,
especially to a religion that believes the same thing you guys do, that Jesus is gonna come back and save the world. All right, like it just ain't worth it. Oh, and shout out to my man Dr. Luke the Goat for the baller alert. He says, blessings from Wisconsin. Never give up, S.E.T. You will definitely go far. Hey, I appreciate that, my man. All right, guys, let's get into it. 101 with the Iranian president. I know we're getting in right into the Middle East, right to the leadership.
At 60% levels was that there was, according to U.S. intelligence, other intelligence agencies, the IAEA, was that there was enrichment at 60% levels. No energy use enrichment needs to be anywhere near those levels. And the facilities were also buried deep in the ground.
Really?
In peaceful nuclear energy facilities,
he says not at all. Watch the video from 2 months ago. Look, I don't go against nobody's religion. I don't disrespect nobody's religion, because hey, that's how people find God and that's how they see goodness. Even if you disagree with Muslims, I mean, there's some pretty damn good Muslims. I mean, that's why I don't hate them. And there's some pretty damn good Christians. And I will admit, both of them are, well, equally as annoying with their religion. No offense, but love y'all all the same. But yeah, shout out to my man Sage. He says not at all. Watch the video from 2 months ago. I have no idea what you're talking about by video from 2 months ago, but shoot, let me know in the chat.
Above ground. So these realities made many people understand that it was clearly for a weapons purpose development and not for energy.
Well, that's right. Perhaps we do not need the 60% enrichment. We know what we believe and we know what we seek. But the conversations and dialogue we had with the Europeans and with the Americans at that time led to the acceptance of the JCPOA and the International Atomic Energy Agency within the framework that was accepted mutually was carrying out the most intrusive regime of inspections ever conducted. The agency inspectors would show up anywhere, and the United States independently tore up the JCPOA. In other words, the agreement based on which we were adhering completely without exception to our commitments after the United States tore up.
And Shadamain says, not hatred for me. It's about truth. No offense. Hey, it is what it is. I always do say though, but if you're going to criticize a religion, I mean, I would hope you know every story in there to prove to me and not just out of context scripture. I would hope you would do this. You would honestly, Christians hate when atheists take passages out the Bible and put them out of context to kind of, go against Christianity. But then I will catch Christians doing the same thing with the Quran. And I'm just like, come on, guys. Don't debase yourselves to the same level as you get on the atheists about taking things out of context. That's all I'm saying. Like, if y'all gonna have that, argument about the Quran, I would hope you read that mug front to back everything up and tell me the whole story and its context, instead of just giving me a passage and then I go in and I read the full context. I'm going like, bro, you're wrong. It doesn't say that.
That agreement, the Europeans, the various companies that had come and formed agreements and signed cooperation agreements to work with us in Iran, they all were forced to leave Iran. And they did not adhere to or live up to any of the contractual agreements that existed. So, and our experts came and perhaps outside of the normal pathways continued our activities. We have announced repeatedly, and we will continue to do so, that we are willing and ready to put everything at their disposal for verification. However, on the condition that our international rights within the framework of the NPT, which is under the auspices of the IAEA, will be safeguarded.
Given that, would your country agree to enrich at levels that are just for energy in the single digits and to have these facilities all be above ground like other nuclear energy facilities around the world?
We accept everything that we need to accept according to the international frameworks. But the problem is, who will give us assurances that Israel will not carry an attack independently in order to take out our installations? We have been members of the IAEA. We have been and continue to be signatories to the NPT. Where was our transgression in order to merit such meddling or an aggression? Even if we merited such comportment, where did Israel get the license to do so in an unfounded way? Where did they get that right from to come and try to destroy and subject to bombardment our nuclear?
Which is true, though. We did kind of follow up Israel on their bombardment. They attacked Iran first. They definitely attacked Iran, tried to hit their nuclear facilities, and then America followed up with bombing Fordow. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a bit weird when they attacked Iran, because really they kind of had nothing to do with anything. Like, they were just sitting there on their own and like not really doing anything. That was really, besides funding Hamas, of course, besides funding Hamas. Let's not forget about that part. But I would say military-wise, it wasn't doing anything until Israel, well, pretty much bombed their facility. And there would have been no beef if Israel didn't start it. Let's be honest. But I mean, we took on this wild ride with Iran and Israel, and now we're here to where we kind of took out the nuclear facility, well, and installed their nuclear effort, well, at least hopefully, and yet Israel's still over here having like war fronts on like 4 or 5 different sides. Still.
Nuclear installations, which were already under the auspices of the most intrusive inspection regimes in the world. According to international laws and frameworks, we still stand ready to execute on every single commitment.
During the period of, I believe it was 60 days or 90 days that President Trump talked about before the United States attack.
And shout out to my man, Dr. Luke the Goat. Said, I like how intellectually consistent you are. You grew up with both religions and have experiences. Blessings from a non-denominational Christian. Hey, shout out to my man, Dr. Luke, coming in with another baller alert. Glad to see you, my man. And yeah, like, bro, my stepdad was Muslim. My mom was a Baptist Christian. And well, my dad's side of the family, they're Catholics. So I mainly grew up around Christian teachings, but I definitely had some teachings in, well, Muslim as well, due to the fact that my dad, would let me in on a couple of teachings. I definitely read the Quran, not all the way through, but I read damn near halfway through it. I'll be honest. And I'll be real with you guys. I don't see what y'all talking about. I really don't. Like, as a person who read half of it, knowing that most people haven't even read a page of it, most of what you guys are saying is just out of context. And it is what it is. But I just say, if you guys are going to do that, then don't get mad when other people take scriptures out the Bible and try to make it seem like, oh, Jesus was wild for doing this, or, oh, the Bible promotes this, that, and the third. Yeah, I mean, y'all can't sit there and cast blame when y'all do the same thing yourself. And I would just say, if you are going to do so, at least fully study the religion. At least do that.
In conjunction with the Israelis, the push was for anywhere, anytime inspections. And the belief was that Iran was getting closer and closer to the ability to have a nuclear weapon, that the breakout time was shorter and shorter. And that was why a time frame was presented to meet those requirements. And that once they weren't met, that was when the attack began.
This is not so at all. First of all, the International Atomic Energy Agency was conducting inspections. They have issued reports. The reports contain something quite contrary to what has been announced by the Americans and others.
So you can see more of the interview on Fox News Sunday. I will be guest hosting Fox News Sunday this weekend. Looking forward to that.
Hey, Sean Hannity. All right, now let's get into part 2 of the interview here, because it was 2 parts to it, of course.
Looking like we have a deal on Gaza, and we'll let you know. Mr. President, I think it's a deal that will get the hostages back. It's going to be a deal that will end the war,
which we hope.
It's going to be a deal it's going to be peace. I think we have a deal.
So as President Trump teases a potential deal, Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu speaking at the UN, slamming Western nations for recognizing a Palestinian state and vowing to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. I sat down with the Iranian president, which he does not do very often, Mahmoud Pezeshkian, and we tackled a wide range of topics. Here is part of that conversation.
Which is impressive for Fox News, I'll be quite honest.
Can you imagine a future where Israel and Iran can exist, the countries can exist in peace?
Of course, if anyone were just to focus as a normal human being on its own affairs and put aside apartheid and injustice and unfairness, why not? But the issue is those who are ruling, governing there now, they are committing genocide. Someone who's committing open genocide, someone who accepts and adheres to no internationally accepted frameworks of laws and human rights. True. We're not supposed to attack any countries. We're not supposed to attack any countries. We have not been initiators of any aggression against any countries, but Israel at will. Sometimes on.
I mean, yeah, that is the problem with everybody. I mean, that is the problem. Everybody in the Middle East is looking at Israel like, yo, they just attacked Qatar, and y'all are over here praising it as if they weren't an ally. Like, hold on now. So you're pretty much saying that Israel can do whatever, and nobody's gonna hold them accountable. If anything, they're gonna get cheered for breaking law. For honestly, I wouldn't say really breaking laws, but being the aggressor. When they attacked Iran, I mean, let's be real, Iran wasn't really even doing anything. Now, of course, you want to say, oh, well, they were funding Hamas. Well, they wasn't doing any military aggression. So to attack them and have them start doing military aggression would mean that, yes, Israel started that. Like, there is a problem here. Israel is starting conflicts in, I mean, Lebanon, Syria, Iran, and Qatar. Like, and nobody's holding them accountable for it. If anything, we're kind of creating excuses for them.
Daily basis, they attack anywhere they wish.
Clearly not agree with that they feel that Iran has been very aggressive through the proxies and all over the Middle East. In fact, there are Houthi attacks just the other day on U.S. ships. We have seen.
Oh, and of course, my bad, but developing nuclear weapons as well. We got to remember, Iran, one of their main crimes is supporting Hamas or proxy through Hamas. And, well, potentially or allegedly developing nuclear weapons, which we didn't really find out for sure or not, but we just bombed the hell out of their, well, in Mountain nuclear facility, which, to be quite honest, it kind of says a lot. Does it say that they were doing it for sure? No, but most likely, yeah, most likely.
In hundreds of American servicemen who were killed by Iran-funded proxies in the Middle East in the early 2000s.
This is the mindset propagated by Israel. Israel says Iran has done this, but no one takes the time to prove that Iran has done this and provide proof.
Yeah, that's true.
The fact that we defend someone who has been unjustly.
Remember, we bombed them because we believe that they're trying to develop a nuclear weapon because they have 60% uranium. Not we bombed them because they have a nuclear weapon or they have 90% uranium. None of that was ever proven. Now we're saying that if you got enough 60% uranium, now they don't even need to have 90%. Now they just need to have enough of the 60% to create a nuclear bomb. Now we're kind of moving the goalposts on Iran, which is why a lot of people are kind of saying that we're going to go into war with Iran. Again, it's going to be around 2 because, like I said, it went from 90% enriched uranium, then it could create a bomb. Now, if they have enough 60%, they have enough weight of it, then they'll be able to get to a bomb. Like, what is it? And the thing is, I think, honestly, both of those are true. Both of those actually might be true. But then, I mean, like, then again, we should have been on it with them since day one if it was about that, had them having enough 60% uranium. If that was the case, I'm just saying. And shout out to Dr. Luke the Goat. I'm amazed at how the media buzzwords have across international lines said, do you sense any disingenuous use of the term genocide? To be honest with you, look, I was trying to not to place that on Israel. I'm like, maybe ethnical cleansing is a better word. It's still effed up, but it's better than genocide. I mean, it's displacement. It's effed up, but it's better than genocide. Now, when you got a whole bunch of scholars who come together, who's been studying genocide, like, I don't know, maybe like 5 years plus, and they all come together and says, hey, yeah, this is a genocide, it's almost undeniable. When scholars come together, genocide scholars who studied history, know more than us about all the genocides in the world, and they come together and say, this is a genocide, what can we say? What could we say at this point? Like, and here's the problem. Here's the problem. We had IDF soldiers come out and say it's a genocide. We have U.S. veterans come out and say it's a genocide. We have a nun who's in Gaza that came out and said it's a genocide. We've had so many people that said it. I mean, when are we going to believe? Who can we believe at this point? Because we've kind of discredited everybody. And the thing is, we didn't prove them wrong. We just called them Hamas supporters and just X them out and said, oh, yeah, well, now we don't even got to address the claim.
Driven from his or her homeland. But to say that we instigate terrorism and attacks and aggression, that is untrue. Find the clear participation of an Iranian in any of these terrorist attacks. In America, Europe. Can you put an Iranian next to the members of Daesh, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and so on? These are accusations that are easy to throw about, but those who are actually committing the crimes and destroying, those are not us.
I understand your...
And here's one of the main reasons why people are also saying this is a genocide. Now, about 60,000 plus, I think, between 60,000 to 65,000 confirmed civilians are killed. Now, let's talk about the civilians that are missing. There are about over 300,000 civilians that are missing that we don't know if they're alive. We don't know if they're dead. I mean, they could have been evaporated in a bombing or under, well, the 70% of destroyed Gazan buildings. I mean, let's be real. So let's be honest. When the fog of war lifts, that 65,000 casualty you might see that somewhere at like 300,000. God forbid.
Perspective, U.S. intelligence obviously has a very different perspective on it, and as does the U.S. military in terms of the people whose lives were lost. But I want to ask you, as you came into office, President, as a reformer, and many women have watched closely the movement for freedom for women in Iran. What would you like to see for...
I'm sorry, bro. I don't understand what's wrong with female reporters when it comes to these these geopolitical topics. You want to talk about women's rights. I mean, sweetheart, they're at war right now. The last thing, they might be getting into possible war right now. They're not thinking about women's rights. And here's the problem. I mean, do you really think that we've given these guys the best representation of what women's rights can do for their country? Like, really think about that. I want you to really think about how women's rights have worked out for us right now. I mean, no offense, and women, that please don't get mad at me when I say this, but since we give our women rights, we put them into the workforce, we kind of lowered the wages. And I mean, if you kind of look at where we're at now with the low birth rate and and a lot of women are kind of a bit unruly, do you think that they would want to pick up women's rights? Think about it like this. All these Muslim countries are sitting back looking at us, looking at our women, and they're going like, oh, you want us to give our women's rights? So what? They can up like y'all's? Do y'all like the way y'all women are right now and American people? I mean, do we? I'm just saying. I'm just asking that question, just being fair.
Iranian women in terms of their freedom.
Well, you see, in Iran today, women enjoy much more freedom. And in our government, in our administration, there are 5 of our sisters who are active members of this top echelon of this administration. We will continue to defend our positions for equal rights for all, including women. In
باورهای جامعه احترام گذاشت.
we believe that we must believe in the norms and traditions of a society. Progress doesn't mean that I can do what I wish and impose my.
And a shout out to my man, Dr. Luke. He's like, that's what I like about this channel. It comes with quotes and notes. Hey, man, I try my best. And all right, look, women, like I said, I'm not talking about the good women that do what they're supposed to do, you know, get married to a good man, have a family, even if you want to go to school and have a career and all that. That's great. I'm just saying, look at how I would say at least maybe 55% of y'all are acting with this whole feminism and all this good stuff and women's rights and aborting babies, having low birth rates, job. I mean, we let women into the job force. It kind of, you know, cut wages. Yeah. Do you really think that Muslim countries didn't look at that and was like, yeah, I don't think we want to do that. Maybe we gave them a better, I don't know, maybe we had better results with women's rights. They wouldn't sit there and look at us like we crazy or pretty much just try to patronize us like, yeah, we'll do women's rights. Yeah, not all the way through, but we'll half-ass it.
Will and wish on others. And also not to pick fights with one another, to impose our wills on one another and take turns at it.